Hello. Welcome once, welcome twice. You're welcome in the name of Jesus Christ to the Bible Study Girl podcast. This is Sarita, but you may know me as Bible Study Girl. And over there muting his coughs. Don't worry, guys. He does not have COVID-19. Is the executive producer of this podcast, Bible Study Brother.
What's good, people? It is your boy, Icarus Gray, also known as the aforementioned Bible Study Brother. Make sure you go check out Gray Area Anime for, non-Bible talk, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to find a better tagline.
I enjoy your tagline. I think it fits. I think you've nailed it.
But,
were you going to say something? Because I didn't want to.
I was.
Okay.
I was just trying to fade out a little bit better. But... Yeah.
It's a celebrate.
You want more?
No, I don't want more.
Okay.
I was just gonna say it's a celebrate. Like I said that in one of the blogs, and Mama sent me a text message and was like, in paragraph 3, line 2, you said celebrate, and I think you meant celebration. And I was like,
oh my God.
No, I meant it's a celebrate, girl. But thank you. For catching it. We are celebrating 1 year of BibleStudyGirl.com.
Yes, we are. One more claps.
Yeah. The pod. Okay. All right, guys.
I can't just cut it out.
I know. It's fine. I'm just saying, the crowd is really excited. I'm learning how to. Yes. Okay.
Accept your flowers.
Yes. Oh, thank you, guys. Thanks.
They're not stopping.
They're not.
Crazy.
Oh,
it's
that's crazy. Okay, calm down, guys. Calm down.
That was your comment. See, I stepped on your toe and I didn't even know because normally you ham it up or you can ham it up.
I'm a hammer.
And you didn't ham. You were you sounded more like
yeah.
But I forget that's your not wanting your flowers.
Yes, that's the. Oh, guys, thanks so much.
Wait, what are you doing? I just not realized this is a celebration of you, so you shouldn't be leading anything.
You're right, but listen, can I
go ahead
have opening remarks or
no? Yeah, I got a question. I got
Okay.
a question to start this with.
Okay.
A year of doing what God asked you to do.
365 days of writing. That's a thick book.
You know how fast that came?
Fast to you, my friend. Fast
Listen.
to you.
No, I know that the beginning aspects of it when you just because when you morphed, because it was I remember you calling me and you said God has asked me to do a blog.
Did I? I didn't say anything to anybody until it was published. Till it was
we
out.
Talked about it.
No, I didn't.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive. I hadn't said
Maybe
anything
I had a
to
prophecy
anybody.
or a dream about it.
Maybe you did.
Mm-hmm.
The discussion we had was how often should I do it after it got
okay.
started.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. So that's the conversation I
that's
remember.
That's the conversation we had.
Well, we probably also had the conversation about how he came to pass to ask you in the first place.
Right.
But so you start and I remember the frequency and you're you started, well, maybe I'll just do it. And I don't know what the other thoughts were.
I had a discussion with you about, I was like, how often do you think I should put out a blog post is what I asked you. I already knew in my head, the Lord said every day, but
what was my response?
You told me 3 times a week. You were like, I think if you do 3 times a week, definitely on Sunday, Wednesday, and another day.
Oh, yeah, because I was planning around the fact that you had named it Bible Study Girl. And
right.
I was like, well, do it around Bible study times.
And then I said to you, well, he actually told me I need to do it every day, but I just wanted to get some input from somebody.
And then I hope I said, well, do what God asked you to do.
I don't really remember what you said to me after that. I was just trying to get input because I knew that you were more, you knew more about this kind of thing, the blogging, that was more in your lane. So that's why I wanted to talk to you.
And then also, you had to also explain to me at that point, I think, that you were writing, because I think I was also thinking from the visual perspective of when people are watching stuff.
Right.
And you were like, oh no. Like, this is. I was like, oh, okay, well yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But
I really was because I think you should be mindful and use the resources you have, and you are a resource for me as far as like tapping into people and connecting to people, because I wanted it to be something that could be read by more people than just my small circle of friends.
Yeah, but I think what he gives me to you, and I think about this with our conversation as you're asking me, and thinking about this year thing, is I reflect what you do because you speak my language, because you taught me the said language. So it's like, no, there's no way that people can feel that you're not connecting with them, because that's not you.
But I think also my thing was, who wants to hear about Jesus every day if that's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to come off
And
super preachy, because that's not who I am.
nope.
But also by the same token, I filter my life through my relationship with Jesus Christ. And so, you know, I didn't want to be that person on Facebook or any other social media platform. Is that all you know? Yeah, that's all I know. Like,
But then I also told you why that would be a great thing for you. Because at that point, I was like, look, I'm going to tell you right now, more people want to know about our life than what you think. And for them, this is some window into, and what they think can be mess is, again, the light. And it's like, so you still draw them in by their own, flesh to correct said flesh.
yeah, and I don't.
No offense to those that are just here for the messiness.
Hey, listen, I like the dramas. I watch all the reality housewives. Like, I like the drama. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't. So I get it. I get why you tune in, because like, this looks titillating.
And at that point in time, because you have your life to write from, which is where you write from. It doesn't matter if you're writing from something that happened to you the day before, but you still have so much of your life to write from, even after 365 days of writing blog posts.
And the great thing about the 365 days is that I didn't write all 365 days. The podcast started, Bible study mama, Bible study cousin, Bible study brother.
Yeah.
I tapped into my BSGs. I tapped into,
but even then, you got about
my friends and family. I have a lot. I probably got 300 and something.
I was going to say, but you probably got a month or more of other of guest contributors.
Probably a month, but the rest of it is like
and that's when I'm like your story and
type it.
And at that time, there were so many stories that were yet to be told.
Correct. I was talking to Bible study cousin like right after I started writing the blog, and this is when I wrote. I said yes to the dress.
Yep, I was just That
was probably at that time it was the hardest one I ever had to write, because it was so like, all of them are real and all of them are personal, but that was my first time being like, okay, this is what's going on in my life right now. This is a season I'm in right now. I'm not over it.
And that was the prequel to this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not over it. I'm not recovered, but I'm going to speak from a real place. I'm going to tell you where I really am. And she was like, Bible study cousin said to me, she was like, it was really hard for me to read that. So I can only imagine how it felt to have to write it and then like put it out in the world. And I'm thankful that I have it's like a journal that I can look back on.
There's no way for me to catch up now unless I turn your whole page into like a devotional. Jesus, it just washed over me, and like this, she been writing for 365 days, bro.
But you know what? I know you didn't read the blog today, but. I mean, we honest.
Listen, it was my church's anniversary.
It doesn't even matter. It like takes 2 minutes every morning. Like, you could do it.
And I'm like, because I read my stuff.
Right, exactly. You could do it while you're having your morning time, but you don't. Whatever. That is not the point. But the point is, I sent you pictures of my book last night that I found at Mama's house. So that's what I wrote the blog about today.
Oh no, I saw that. Because if nothing else, I did not see the post, but I always see your Instagram things. So I always know what you've posted for the day.
But you just didn't read it.
Whether or not I've read it is a whole other story.
Yeah, I just, like, a lot of times if we're going to, this is an aside, but if we're going to talk about a particular post or a blog post, I'm like, read this now before we start recording this episode. So we're talking about the same thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And even then, normally I get about the paragraph or 2 or 3 and I'm like.
And then you quit?
Most times, yes.
OMG. Well.
Because I get the.
Honestly, I prefer that though, because let me tell y'all something. When I tell him to read it, he wants to read it aloud. And I'm like.
But that's because most times, like, I have to.
Me
and I only want to do that with you. And it's not even to drive you crazy. In my head, like, when you're here, I'm like, oh. It's kind of like talking to you about you. So I'm like, this is interesting.
Weirdo. But it's interesting that you said that about the devotional, because today's blog was about really, I've always been a writer.
Yeah.
Even when I push it down or tap it down or don't even think anything of it, it's always been there. And so you said the thing about the devotional. I was talking in the blog about how I've left my book to the side. Like, I put it to the side. I pull it back out. I pulled it back out to read through it the other day to, like, get back on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not connecting with it like I was. And so part of me was thinking I need to do a devotional, like go back through the blogs that I've written over the past year, pull those things out and tie them all together. Not necessarily 360 pages, but even to talk about,
what I said to you?
Even to
that's
talk,
funny.
Okay, but listen, even to talk about, I said yes to the dress.
Yeah. Where
I was in that moment versus where I am now, and how God has used that to
after your experiences with relationship goals,
right,
and where you are now specifically,
right, and that's
dealing with your DMs blowing up like I told you they did.
They are exploding. Stop it, guys. Okay, unless you can talk to me like a respectable young gentleman.
I love the Lord. Try Jesus. Don't try me, because I throw hands.
I told him he could read my DMs for fun, but he didn't want to.
No, I don't want to come. Listen, I will find y'all.
It's hilarious though.
Like
a lot of it is funny. Anyway,
I ride for this one that sits across from me, so I ain't gonna laugh. I'm gonna come see about you in these streets.
It is funny though. So it's interesting that you said that about the devotional, because that's what's been running through my mind. Like, maybe that's what you need to do. Because even getting ready to celebrate, before the 1-year anniversary of BibleStudyGirl.com came, I talked to you for months about what should I do for the 1-year anniversary. Like, I don't know what to do. And I went back and forth. And at the end, it was really kind of like, blah. I didn't do anything.
Well, what's the thought process I had is, I remember our first conversation when you said you were going to write a book and do the book. Because I was asking all these questions like, are you doing them the same time? Or like, no, he wants me to write and I was like, okay. Are you sure that you can't just use your blog post as no, he wants me to. I was like, okay.
He definitely wants me to write the book that I am writing. 100%.
I do still think, though, what's funny about 100%. It, like on both ends, is that you were more raw in where you were in that time. Certain chapters, not gonna go into them, but those chapters, given who you needed to talk to, or who you tried to talk to, I should say, there was still open wounds for that, because you're coming off of Say Yes to the Dress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you had 365, and I'm just going to keep mentioning because it's just an amazing number. No, actually, you might have had 366, because was this year not a leap year?
It is a leap year.
Yeah, so you was 366, partner.
All right. Thank God for that extra day.
Yeah, so, and it was like this revelation upon revelations of what it is that you're doing, right? Because I remember when you started that my biggest thing was these stories. in our stories, our life. The fact that there's a lot we don't talk about. Like a lot of people would know how hard the divorce was for me,
right?
unless I talk about it.
Or even how hard difficult aspects of our childhood were.
Yeah.
Because looking from the outside, you don't know
because that's
what's
not
going
our
on the inside.
Or even, our relationship, the
Right.
growth our relationship had to take to get to this point.
Even just from looking at Facebook pictures of me, you, and Mama, and assuming that everything is well.
Oh yeah, because anytime you see us, like, we don't give off the sorrow or the troubles in our life, and a lot of times we kind of throw them in a backpack and stuff
Keep
them
it
under or
moving.
whatever, and keep going, because that's what we were trained to do in a certain
Right.
way. And that's not like
It's not a dig,
a dig or anything.
But
It's
that's how we deal with life.
Because we've also evolved in a lot of different ways, because we understood at some point this is not helping.
Right.
There are a lot of ramifications that are in place currently because of that. I don't talk about, or I've talked about my relationship with my father in multiple podcasts. We did the daddy issues. We have, my podcast my blog post, what is forgiveness, our relationship, and all these different things that was just like, these are things I'm still going through. What is grief?
Right.
Because I think I have 3 or 4 blog posts on your thing. Because I think
I could look up the data quickly, but
in that, there's always a story that we haven't revealed. And what I think he's doing is opening yourself to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the reflection of who we are and where we're trying to go. Because if we look at any of the blog posts before I accepted my call and preached, before we delved into our daddy issues, before we delved into, my marriage, and before we delved into Mom's life, listening to the episodes with Grandma.
Right.
Like, there's so much that's growing.
It's so much growing, and there's a wealth of knowledge that is untapped. Like, and that is what I love about BibleStudyGirl.com. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say that every day I am joyful that I have the assignment, because every day I'm not joyful. Some days I literally debate with myself, like, girl, is you finna sit at this computer and type again? Is you really gonna do it?
Fitz, get off of the keyboard. Oh my goodness.
He drives me crazy sometimes. But really, to reflect on this past year, I see what a blessing it has been in my life. And I think in the lives of, some people tell me, oh my gosh, I look forward to reading it every day. I just want to tap in. It gives me a chance to reevaluate some stuff. And other people are silent. Not that I want people to come to me and tell me, okay, I'm not going to say that I don't want. I do need to hear.
But it's a different, but you're not, I'm not asking doing it for like a fandom famous, like it's more of a, hey.
Is this helping?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Not, because it's not me. When I sit at that keyboard, it's not me. One thing writing these blogs every day has forced me to do is really humble myself. Like, get before God. Because like I said, there are many days where I'm like, bruh, if you want me to continue to do this, you got to give me something. Because I'm on E. And there are a lot of things and a lot of stories in my life that I have not shared. Because who can really, it's hard to share your whole life in a year. But I also don't necessarily think that you should share all of who you are. There are parts of you that should be hidden from
there are
public.
always parts that you should keep sacred.
You keep for yourself. But my goal and my mission and my aim is for people to see that there's beauty from ashes. Like, your whole entire life could be burned down, smoldering to the ground, and you can get up again and you can keep moving. And not only that, but that God loves you. He cares for you, has a purpose and plan for your life, and he wants the very best for you. And I've been learning that about myself more and more as the year has progressed. You know, we're past 1 year at this point. But I have seen God move in my life in a mighty way since 366 days ago. I have seen some tremendous growth for me personally, and he's answered so many of my personal prayers. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful I have the opportunity to serve him in this capacity. Like I said earlier, writing is in me. It is in me. And I was thinking earlier today,
It's a familiar thing.
I actually, when I was in the 4th grade, I got published in like a magazine. I wrote a letter to an editor, and Aunt Linda.
Would I have been here?
In the 4th?
If you're in 4th grade, am I here?
If in the 4th grade, sir?
Well,
yes.
Listen, I be forgetting the numbers, so I just had to like add up because there's so many moments in.
You would, but it would not have been something that came across your radar. Maybe you were in kindergarten.
Maybe, but
4th grade. I was like 9, so you were 4 or 5.
I feel like the only reason I say this is because I feel like there were so many moments in your life that because of you were the first definition of what I thought legacy was, and I didn't call it legacy, but just given what it is. So if you did something, inherently, I thought these things would then fall to me, and I would.
It would just
get
magically
to do them.
happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me finish my thought before you go off on you.
No, that was it. I just thought that I'm gonna get published.
But Aunt Linda probably has it somewhere, but it was my first time ever being published. And I wrote a letter to an author. She wrote a book or something. I was like, your book is great. You know, I'm going to be a writer one day. That's something that went out of my mind, you know, something from many, many years ago. But I feel like this is who I am. It's part of who I need. I mean, it is who I am, and I need to embrace it. And
Ascendance of a blogger.
Ascendance of a blogger. I'm going up and up and up. I just need to embrace it and envelop it and roll with it and see what God will do with it.
Yeah, I have to get back into my own writing. Like, I don't use the gift that is inherently in both of us enough.
You don't, because when I ask you to write a blog post, I always have my own prepared because there's a very strong possibility
that I'm just not
that he's not. He just won't.
And it's more so because, like, I think, and I don't know when it happened, and I don't know why it happened. And it's something that I've been trying to pray on, but like I just stopped. You know, I had a time where my pastime, because of how much I love writing, my grandmother would take me to Dollar Tree. And you could get toys and all kinds of stuff out of Dollar Tree, out of Walmart. What I would want was paper and pens and like a sketchbook, like anything that was paper and pencils or crayons. My mom got me this set of like crayons, wax, this, that, and the third, paints and all sorts of stuff. We were in Cross Street. We're at Cross Street, and I go into the like normally they didn't typically buy us our gifts before Christmas, and I didn't look for them. Like this ended up, it was a Christmas present that ended up being a birthday present because I found it, and she went ahead and let me, you know, use it. And I think about that. I was talking to Kanae the other day about. Because she types so hard, and she was like, "Well, I came from typing on a typewriter," and I said, "We had a typewriter, we had all the things." Like, and she was like, "Well, how long did you type?" I said, "Yeah, I used it a lot, not just for."
We had a word processor, friend.
Yeah, but we also had a typewriter. Somebody had a typewriter. Grandma, or somebody had an actual typewriter.
I believe maybe grandma, but like at our house, we had.
No, I know we had the word processor, but I'm like, we've also had access to an actual typewriter. Like,
pretty sure it was grandma. Yeah,
it was the funnest thing in the world. Yeah. She might have had it in St. Louis.
Yeah, I feel like.
Okay, so that's where it was.
Yeah,
but I remembered. I'm just like, no, I've typed too. I don't type that hard. It ain't that serious, but
it is.
Tick,
tick, tick, tick, tick.
Anyway, long story short, I don't know where the block is. It's just like, you know, initially, like, and just a rapping thing. Like Drake used to, he would write all his raps on a BlackBerry. I was like, that's stupid. And now I read all my raps or things on my phone.
Right.
And I haven't gone back to the composition notebook, you know, because my goal used to always be I wanted to fill it up. Like I wanted to fill anything with letters. That's something else that you've given me, because you and he who shall not be named used to write love letters to each other in a notebook.
Let me tell you, we talk about writing.
Yeah.
See, my high school sweetheart, also known as my ex-husband, he was big on the letters. You know what? He probably was. He used to write me a letter every day. So much so, when we were in high school, that I had like a 3-inch binder full of letters from him. Like, and it would just be like random stuff. This happened in first period. So and so did this, or girl, you cute, you know.
Yeah.
But they would be full pages. And so I guess that is weird. But he was the original blogger, because every day. So then I would have to write one in response to him. So I have gone through a season of my life where I write every day.
I mean, and that's where, you know, that's something that I brought into my own relationship. You know, we used to do it. Like, we had not as many as y'all, because my partner does not write at that pace.
Okay.
But we still had like about 3 of them. And like, you know, that was like 2 parts of joy. The part that I think that brought me the most joy is not even the letters themselves. It is filling a complete college ruled notebook. And it being stuff like, I remember wanting to write books and stuff when I was in elementary school. Like all the games I would play, I wanted to create my own stories, probably like with Black characters, so I could see myself somewhere. And it's always just been amazing. So I commend you for that, because that's something that I think is just some sort of thing for our branch. It just feels like
writing is our thing.
Writing is just like it is a piece. I was looking at and I'm not gonna take up too much more of the time because we almost at the ending. But I had watched James Baldwin's "I Am Not Your Negro," the movie.
I need to watch it.
Not right now, you don't, but
okay.
you could if
no,
you'd
I
like.
probably couldn't.
But
I couldn't.
So
I'm gonna take your warning,
because when I watched it, then that was the first time I had wrote something of like that kind of impact and said the things that I wanted to say, and it had been a while, and like it popped up on my timeline the other day, and I was like, look, bro, you have to do something with your writing. You gotta write a rap, you gotta write something.
Or a blog for BibleStudyGirl.com to share your thoughts with the people. I'm not going into your wrap-up session. I'm just saying, like you should. You share. I'm, like I said earlier, I'm so thankful for the assignment that I've been given every day. Charmaine, I called her Charmaine. Charmaine was on here, and she gave the greatest analogy about your relationship with God. And it really is a marriage. Some days it's great, and then other days it's like, man,
you still here?
You're still here, and we're still doing this thing. And I think that is something that you can see if you read the blog. Yeah. Some days my walk with Jesus is like fairy tale rainbows, and then other days it's really ugly, it's really scary, it's really dark. But I think the important thing is that I'm continuing to walk with him through all of that, and that is the beauty of it, and that is what I want people to get from the blog, not perfection, because I'm so far from perfect. Like I have so many flawed areas, and I also went on a date, a couple of them, and I realized I'm a work in progress.
Jesus Christ.
just how I'm serious, just how flawed I am. But I always want BibleStudyGirl.com to point people to Jesus, not to me as a person, but to point people to Jesus, because he's the one that can really fix, transform, heal, change lives. I'm not, but I'm willing to share my story, and I'm also willing to listen to other people's stories. I get so much joy when somebody feels safe enough to share pieces of themselves with me, and I pray and I hope that people are receptive to the parts of myself that I'm willing to share and able to share, and that they it gives them joy on sad days, or just, it's something they can relate to. I am thankful for 366 plus days of journeying on BibleStudyGirl.com. That was my cue to be quiet. That was my cue to be quiet.
No, it wasn't.
But
That was your cue of saying congratulations.
Okay.
But every day you can find blog posts at BibleStudyGirl.com. You can hit us up on Instagram at _BibleStudyGirl, over on Twitter at BibleStudyGirl 2. We have a Facebook, Bible Study Girl. Come check us out, like, comment, and there is also an email where you can send your inquiries to be on the Bible Study Girl podcast at BibleStudyGirl2019@gmail.com. Please remember, people, it is not you preach, they preach. The sea preaches, the birds preach, but we preach.
And until we meet again, guys, keep preaching.